Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, metals, yields, news, all that good stuff as we get ready for the United States stock market to open up in 4 minutes. And, I see a lot of people in the chat. I'm guessing you're tuning in today just because it's another boring day in crypto today. Not a whole lot going on, just boring. Outside of Binance and COINBASE getting sued, as the price of Bitcoin gets super close to the bucks that we've been watching for the last 2 months. So, there's a lot going on. Yesterday morning, when we did markets in the morning, it was just kind of a typical morning quiet start to the stock market, quiet start to the week. Once we finished markets in the morning, S started hitting the fan out there a little bit. So we'll take a look at the charts, and of course we'll talk about the news and everything going on out there. I've already recorded a video this morning. It's exporting, so we'll hear a ding. That's just meaning that the exporting is done on that video. I'll probably even start uploading it here while we're doing the live stream, so that way it can go live shortly after the live stream is done. But essentially just talking all about this. If you guys have followed the YouTube channel, follow Markets in the Morning, you followed Twitter. I've had a Twitter thread on this thing. And last week we were really talking about how we kind of got this little like short squeeze thing. And I was kind of like, through the weekend, will we get that fall that will end up happening? If we don't get it through the weekend, maybe it's not. Boom, we get it right here on Monday. SEC comes in and does the job for us. So I'm now in heavier accumulation of the cryptocurrency market right now. We watch the psychology of the retail investor get absolutely washing machined as they do. Euphoria at the top, worry, meme coin mania, indifference, and then now we have narratives to totally shatter retail investors to scare them. Chris says, "You buying yet, BCB?" Yes, I am. I am buying. So retail terrified down in here. It's just you can't script it any better, except we're playing by the SEC script, right? They've timed what they're doing. They've done this before where they time their attacks, and the way I look at things always is like, is this as bad? It's bad. Fear is always going to be bad for me. Buying, it's one thing to get to a technical target. It's another thing to have it where you just have retail just utterly terrified. So I'm excited to see that we're having these narratives happen right in here as we get down to the price zones. It creates all this worry. It creates all this unknown, all this uncertainty, all this doubt, all this fear really quick. But really the things that we were looking for. So we'll go through a couple of them briefly, but I put a lot of stuff into the video that I've already recorded. You guys know we've talked about this, that we've gotten through capitulation phase here, right? So you haven't, I know most of you have watched this. I guess I'm just going to talk to you guys. If you haven't watched it, then it's your own fault that you're just now tuning in. We've gone way through capitulation phase, right? Capitulation is just beyond us. And that what we've been working on here in the last couple of weeks is really just kind of the bottoming, and that many times we will see this type of short squeeze come out in here, followed by the turnover and plunge, right? So that we come over here and we test that low again, and that we can set a new low, right? And so what are we getting? We're getting SEC fear. We're getting SEC news to come out and do that at just the right time. So this likely means we're working on the cruel summer now. It doesn't matter, which one we have in here. They both indicated cruel summer, right? So back in 2020, we didn't go set a new low, but we did notice that we're behaving a lot more like 2021. So expectation probably, gets you. There you go. There's the beep. That means the export is done on the video I recorded. But we probably have time in here. I mean, that's just the cold hard reality. We're probably in here for a little while. We're probably going to see all the 12K callers come out, all the mouth breeder basement dwellers who live with mommy. They're going to start screaming. But otherwise, man, this is dude. If you haven't learned yet, right? If you haven't started keeping the emotional log yet to recognize when your emotions are doing what they're doing, when you're chasing meme coins, when you're sending money to Ben.eth, some guy you have no idea who he is, and you're just sending money because you're such a gambler, that they tend to happen at very specific places. You know, if you were a 10 to 12K caller for Bitcoin and then you sent money to Ben.eth, you got to leave this market, man. You got to get out. Get out while you still can. Especially if you're going to start screaming, we're going to 10 to 12K now. You need to get out. You need to walk away and never come back ever again. This isn't the place for you. You're an emotional psycho. But right here, it's just like you can't beat it, man. You can't beat getting the narrative that we've got right now in the SEC. Like, it's not like something fundamentally broke in the market. It's a specific timed attack by the SEC. You can't beat it, man. So I'm thrilled, but you know what? We still have like, dude, we got within $57 of and you know, I left this line here. I don't know why I did it, but I've been consistent in leaving it there. My box wasn't that low, so I actually thought a little higher, but I don't know why I had put the line a little bit lower. But I've just left it there the whole time. But we've gotten now within $55 of reaching the target zone, or at least entering into the target zone after the retrace falling $4,707. We've gotten within 55. And imagine that, within $55, and you've got the SEC coming out doing what they're doing, these clowns. Unreal, man. But you know what? That's how you get the prices. That's how you get people to sell. That's how you get the liquidity. It's how you get the volume down here. People got to be scared. They got to be running for the hills. You got to have the news narrative readers out there. So anyway, there you have it, guys. You got the SEC doing the job for you. And this is really what we were looking for to happen in here. There you go. Working on your bottom in here. The whip back down, which we've been working on. It was only $55 and you entered the box. So probably expecting the cruel summer to head though. But the good news is that the majority of this has been worked out for us now. Now it's just time to let retail kind of dwell in fear for a little while, which is probably what we'll see. As for XRP, what do you know? 786 becomes the rejection level. I talked about this yesterday. Talked about it. Just, you know, not much more to say, right? You know, my bias is that eventually XRP is going to work up much higher, but you guys all know it. I've had mixed feelings about working back into the range. It's been concerning, and you know it's a pretty decent size rejection coming out of there. So I talk about that in today's video, and you know you're trying to work with a day's worth of data here, right? So what are the observations that you can make with your 1 day's worth of data? You do have a rejection. You have a pretty strong one. It looks very similar to that one, right? So you're popping right back off that retracement level with a very strong rejection. That looks very awfully similar to how we behave in these situations of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 8 larger ABC corrections. So, you know, otherwise, if it's not that, then we've got to give it a little bit of room to breathe. You can see that it did find support right here on top of that supportive level. So there was support that's there. But now just, you know, is it going to hold that support for a little bit of time? I'm gonna continue to kind of be the same way I've been as we're at these retracement levels, a little bit indifferent, and just express the same things that I've been expressing. I did a wave count on here. We got back to retracements. There's something fishy about the retracements and the wave counts to leave me a little bit on edge, and just kind of remaining that way for right now. But otherwise, right, I think we're like at this phase where we're almost at the bottom of Bitcoin. Like if possibly today is what my thoughts are. And it's if you don't celebrate the news, like if you haven't ever kept an emotional log and started kind of tracking things to notice when you get really excitement, when you're willing to gamble on meme coins, right? Where were you within market cycles? Where were these things happening at? Where were you willing to take extraordinary risks? Where were you not willing to take any risks at? You'll start recognizing they're happening at specific places. And so when we started talking about this ABC correction happening in here, And then it to take this long to get here and this drawn out to get here. And then to watch it's like somebody just sprayed the water hose on the fire ant pile and the ants are running around everywhere screaming. And it's caused with a timed event by the most corrupt agency in the United States government, the SEC, who has historically timed their attacks before. While it seems scary to me, it's like, they're doing it. They're doing the job. They nailed it. It's perfect. So I view it as optimistic, actually, that they're showing their card. They just showed their cards. They waited until we got here and then showed their cards. So hip, hip, hooray, right? Now we just kind of got to go through the grind. Now we kind of got to go through the grueling grind out here. This could take a little bit of time to work this out. Probably at least enjoy your summer for a minute. Right. I'm not going to sit here and worry and panic, but you're going to likely see a lot of toxicity on Twitter. You're going to see a lot of panic, worry, people calling for lower prices. It's what always happens in these situations is that's what they do is there'll be a lot of worrying and panicking and calling for lower prices. This moment. So in 2020, when we had this type of moment, see if we can get ourselves back there. Eventually is what led to the really good times afterwards. Right. So you guys know my thoughts. I've been more focused on retraces, not necessarily that we're going into some mega huge crazy bull run to end up occurring in here. But that my thoughts have been that this was kind of our FTX collapse. We've spent an amount of time in here to just kind of whittle it away. And now we're just kind of doing one of these things to then get another big rally to come here in Bitcoin and in the cryptocurrency market. But for the last couple of months, this has been the thoughts. And that's what I've been tweeting. So I've been talking about. A tweet was saying, that this would be a local top for a couple of months. It's what it's been. You can't script it any better to have the SEC come in and do it. It's not some fundamental thing that broke in the market. It's not, it's not like Luna breaking, right? It's not like somebody has broken the code of Bitcoin and, or duplicated coins or something crazy, right? It's legitimately the corrupted organization coming in and making their timed attack. So you just can't get any, for me, I can't get any more optimistic than that. So I'm a buyer. I'm now not a nibbler. I'm now a real buyer in this market. So just kind of letting it go and just accumulating the coins that I want. And I'm thrilled. So yesterday, the big surprise was with Binance. Today, the big surprise is with COINBASE. They name specific coins as securities in these things. Let me see if I can pull it up on my computer screen over here and see if I can get it. Probably not going to pull it up on the channel. Let's see, what do they say? The SEC alleged the following coins are securities in the COINBASE lawsuit: Sol, ADA, Matic, File, Sand, AXS, CHZ, Flow, ICP, Near, VGX, Dash, and Nexo. Now, they sued Binance yesterday, saying that they were running an unregistered securities exchange and named off several assets as well. I have not had the chance to read the Coinbase filing yet because, well, that got filed about 30 minutes before I went live. But in the Binance one, even Jeremy Hogan points it out that they specifically refer to them like as treating them as like securities. So like whether or not the assets themselves are securities or just that Binance treated them like securities. And then they list off all of these different cryptos. But were the cryptos actually securities or Binance treated it? And as Jeremy Hogan says, it's kind of opaque, like intentionally broad, intentionally not direct, but saying that Binance treated them like securities. So are they securities or did they treat them like securities? There you go. That's your SEC for you. So, all right, we're almost there for Bitcoin. I couldn't be happier to finally have this moment in time coming to a conclusion. As you know, this has been my thoughts for some time. We are getting there. We're almost at the conclusion of this event, and you just couldn't make it any better to have a catalyst happen at the very end a fear-driven catalyst to go mark the bottom. And it's proven that it is too, because look at how much viewership we have in here. We're at over 2,000. We wouldn't be at over 2,000 if we didn't have this early in the stream, if we didn't have something actually happening. So it's just completely perfectly timed. You can't beat it. Rock and roll. As for the stock market, so the stock market just opened. So if this is your first time tuning into markets in the morning, we do this every morning where we take a look at the stock market, cryptos, everything as the market gets going, and we take a look at the news that's happening out there. So obviously, lots of action in crypto, lots of worry after there's been lawsuits from the SEC and all that good stuff. XRP getting rejected right there off of that 786 Fibonacci retracement on the same news. As for the stock market, Dow Jones Industrial Average opens down 62 points this morning. So Dow still sitting at all the retracement levels, unable to get through. As for the NASDAQ, now NASDAQ down 53 points. It has crawled through the 618, still hasn't quite made it to 702. S&P is down 6 points. So S&P is, the Dow is only down 43. So the Dow is down 0.11%. The S&P is down 0.14%. And the Nasdaq's down 0.34%. That is likely being impacted by Coinbase, which is probably getting absolutely hammered now off this lawsuit. Down 17% this morning after getting an SEC filing against them. Coinbase, we could have been friends, man. We could have been cool. You could have had the XRP army on your team working with you to help this fight and expose the SEC, but you went your own route, and now look what you got yourself into. Charles Hoskinson, you too, buddy. ADA, Cardano named in both Binance and in the Coinbase lawsuit. Charles got himself a little bit of water there too. Could have been friends. Didn't have to be this way, you guys. All right. So, all right. Coinbase getting wrecked this morning after filings from the SEC. Gold chilling still. Not able to get through the all-time high. We're still just waiting on it to see what gold is going to do. We always talk about the inverse relationship between gold and the stock market. Still waiting on these. Big decision to happen there. Do not be fooled. If you're new to the channel, because we have quite a few viewers in here, to think that gold breaking out is bullish for cryptos. The opposite is the truth. All right. SEC sues Coinbase over exchange and staking programs. The stock drops 20% pre-market on the front page here of CNBC. The SEC sued Coinbase on Tuesday, alleging that the company was operating as an unregistered securities exchange and broker, and that 13 assets listed on its platform were considered crypto asset securities. The regulator asked the exchange to be permanently restrained and enjoined from doing so. The suit comes just one day after the SEC sued Binance and its co-founder Changpeng Zhao. The Securities and Exchange Commission sued crypto exchange Coinbase in New York federal court on Tuesday morning, alleging that the company was acting as an unregistered broker and exchange and demanding that the company be permanently restrained and enjoined from continuing to do so. How about that, man? That is wild. They're saying shut down Coinbase. Shares fell 22% in pre-market trading Tuesday. Coinbase stock had already fallen 9% on Monday after the SEC unveiled charges against rival crypto exchange Binance. These trading platforms, they call themselves exchanges, are commingling in a number of functions. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said on CNBC Tuesday, "We don't see the New York Stock Exchange operating a hedge fund. Coinbase's flagship prime brokerage, exchange, and staking programs violate securities laws," the regulator alleged in his complaint. The company has for years defied the regulatory structure and evaded the disclosure requirements of U.S. security laws, which they've been very vocal that there's no way. Coinbase has been vocal. The SEC has alleged that at least 13 crypto assets available to Coinbase customers were considered crypto asset securities by the regulator. Those assets include Solana and Cardano and Protocol Labs Filecoin token. We allege that Coinbase, despite being subject to the securities laws, commingled and unlawfully offered exchange, broker-dealer, and clearinghouse functions. That's interesting. Commingled, huh? With Coinbase. I know they did that. They accused that with Binance, but Coinbase. Coinbase did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Coinbase's institutional service Prime, its retail exchange product, and its custody wallet service all offered one or more crypto asset securities, the SEC said in its complaint. Okay. The staking program was identified as an investment contract. The exchange had already received a Wells notice from the regulator earlier this year. No, Wells notice is essentially a letter that says that the SEC intends to sue you. So Coinbase was aware. The company has been identified by many in the crypto community as the only entity with the financial and institutional resources to go toe-to-toe with the SEC and Gensler. Just a reminder, Ripple has been going toe-to-toe with the SEC and Gensler, and the XRP army has been going against the SEC and Gensler and pointed out all the corruption that goes on here. So if you are not on Team Ripple to win, if you're not on Team XRP to win, you're anti-crypto. If you don't realize that yet, you need to wake up. Ripple has to win. And just so you know, if you're not aware, next week, 1 week from today, next Tuesday, the SEC has been given a big blow of defeat in this lawsuit where they are going to have to reveal the internal communication emails of Bill Hinman and all the staff. That will be released. There was likely to be a ton of corruption in that, and that has to be spread around. That will be released by next Tuesday if the SEC doesn't wiggle their way out of delaying it somehow. But pay attention to that. This is a huge moment for the SEC. It does seem a little timely that they're doing all of this stuff shortly before these emails are about to get released next week. So it looks like they're making their big attacks happening here. This is kind of their grand finale of attacks coming out for the big boys right before they're about to get themselves a big blow of defeat and look like just a shady organization. But okay. Oh, wait, we probably have more news to go over. Whatever. That's the big news. Is anything going to top that today? Yeah, right. Okay, Apple came out with goggles. $3,500 goggles. Cool. Little late, you know what I mean? Like VR, like I think everybody who's tried VR has kind of figured it out that it's like okay. It's like not great. It's okay. We're throw $3,500 into it. There will be people who do it. All right. Bloomberg, yeah, Ukraine stuff, Coinbase, whatever. Okay, we all know it. CoinDesk, crypto markets down after the SEC charges Coinbase and Binance. Let's see what you guys have to say on CoinDesk. You're going to make me watch a video. You're going to make me watch a video. Get out of here. SEC sues Coinbase. There we go. United States Securities and Exchange Commission has filed a lawsuit against New York-based crypto exchange Coinbase for offering unregistered securities. The SEC lawsuit alleged that Coinbase has never registered as a broker, national securities exchange, or clearing agency, evading the disclosure schemes for securities markets. The SEC alleges that several tokens offered on the crypto exchange, including Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Filecoin, the Sandbox, Axie Infinity, Chiliz, I've never even heard of that one, Flow, Internet Computer, Near, and Voyager token, Dash, and Nexo all qualify as securities. So, man, if XRP Army, guys, we're 2.5 years into this army, into this battle. This has now just begun for all of these guys. Today, we charge Coinbase Inc. Man, I bet you if you go read the comments of this thing, people are just lighting them up. Today, we charge Coinbase with operating its crypto asset platform as an unregistered national securities exchange. Unregistered national securities. Whoops. Whatever that is. Okay. National securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency for failing to register the offer and sale of its crypto asset staking as a... Oh, wait, this is from back in the day. No, it's today. Yeah, I need to read this thing. We'll need to read more of it. But staking as a service program. The lawsuit further alleges that Coinbase has operated as an unregistered security broker since 2019, almost 2 years before its initial public offering. The lawsuit alleges that Coinbase's staking program includes 5 stakeable crypto assets, making the staking program an investment contract and therefore a security. Oh, boy. Like, how do I, like, not use profanity? You know what I mean? Like, I do a really good job on this channel not doing it. Coinbase was already fighting a staking battle with the SEC, claiming its staking products do not qualify as securities, despite Kraken previously settling with the SEC and winding down its staking services in the United States. Addressing the latest Coinbase lawsuit, the SEC chair Gary Gensler said the crypto exchange allegedly deprived its customers of critical protections that prevent fraud and manipulation and avoided proper disclosure and safeguards against conflicts of interest. Okay. The SEC lawsuit against Coinbase comes just a day after the securities regulator sued BINANCE. Many of the crypto community question how Coinbase was allowed to go public in 2021 if it operated as an unregistered security broker. One member of crypto Twitter, The Wolf, said the SEC suing Coinbase could cut some slack for Binance. So in the SEC's complaint versus Coinbase, it states that they've been acting as an unregistered broker since 2019. Yet the April 14, 2021 coin became a public company in the NASDAQ. How on God's green earth do they possibly believe this lawsuit will ever hold up in court? Right. Yeah. It's just timed. It's just a timed attack. That's what it seems like. Anyway, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The most corrupt agency in the United States, with the most corrupt person ahead of it, Gary Gensler, timing their attacks. Just as they timed their attack against Ripple and XRP 5 days after Bitcoin broke out into its new all-time high in 2020. The day after the first weekly candle close into new all-time highs happened for Bitcoin, the SEC attacked Ripple and attacked XRP. We've been in here for months waiting for our prices to get down to here. Who shows up to the party to scare the crud out of retail investors? Your friendly Securities and Exchange Committee. So I'm doing such a good job not cursing. I've stopped so many of them from coming out. You don't even know. So there we go. All right. That's where we're at. I think that'll just be our little coverage there. But we got a couple things turning green, which is nice because we actually had broken down. Everything was up like 1 or 2%. You only had a couple of them. I have a couple of them actually trying to go. I'm a buyer down here, guys. This is a target I've been looking for a couple of months. We have finally gotten here, and the corrupt agency is here to, your local fear government agency is here to scare you. Trust me, we're from the government. We're here to help you. All right, let's jump into the chat. And I got to get this video released. Chris DeLeon says, Taco Tuesday, bless you and your family, BCB. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for showing up, man. Gino D'Amelio says, thoughts on Ethereum. Do you think we've got a local bottom? Also, do you track trades for taxes? Any best practices to share? Thanks. Yeah, you should track your trades. You should be reporting all of your trades that you do. I do have an accountant. In years past, trying to do it on my own and entering them all in. The reporting that some of these exchanges kind of stinks. So I have an accountant that literally comes to my house and we spend almost 2 whole days and we sit there and we print out every single transaction history from each exchange and we go line item by line item entering everything. So, I mean, the proper thing you should do is probably have an Excel file open and just track every time what your cost basis is and then what you sell it for. But thoughts on Ethereum? Pretty optimistic. I nibbled at some Ethereum too. I added a little bit of Ethereum. Blockfella, what's up? Blockchain backer La Cabra XRP daily 21 EMA fib number. Yeah, when we start, I do understand 21 is one of the common EMAs, 9, 50, 100, 200. There's so many different EMAs. I try not to put too much emphasis on each individual one because then what happens is people will say, well, no, let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the 2-hour time frame. Let's look at the 12-hour time frame. And if a particular EMA doesn't work, you can always just change your time frame and say, see, it still works. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Thank you, bro. Janice Blease says, at least a lot of OG coins are not called securities. Maybe a tiny hope for forgotten coins. Yeah, I'm noticing that too. Luckily, I don't really have many of these that they're claiming securities. I think the only ones I've gotten I've had a couple caught in the crossfire yesterday. I do own some Atom, and I own some Cardano. I still have a little bit of Solana for when I bought the bottom, but I did like sell enough to completely take off all of my cost basis for Solana, so I'm like letting it ride for free. It's not something I like. Solana is not something I think is going to become anything huge again. But otherwise, I haven't had too much exposure to all of this. I would say out of everything, like maybe 10% of my portfolio or less has been caught in the crossfire of what they have called securities. So, yeah, man. Ryan Rendon, member for 34 months. My man, good morning, everyone. Love this community and wish everyone a great week and success in their investments. Also, only one day until... Oh, yeah, and it works. The frog. It doesn't have the background on it. Fran Mihura says, are you buying Matic? I am not buying Matic. Look at that. Look at that. We got within $55 of the box, and we're getting a little bit of green there, guys. We're getting more green showing up over here, too. SEC scared some people out. I'm telling you. Doing their job. The BCB Brigade, Joseph Wiley, thank you, Ryan. Joseph Wiley, thank you, says, hey, the BCB Brigade is the best crew in the XRP army. Thank you so much, Joseph. And it's true. You ever see this chat, man? It's wild. Why did that? I saw something come across, and I don't know why it's not in my list here, but I'll address it. Sam, welcome as a backer. I saw it up there. Where did it go? I saw you do it. Pat, gifted 10 blockchain backer memberships. I don't know why it's not in my list over here, but I did see that come across my screen when you did that. Thank you, Pat. You came out of the woodwork last week and just been very generous. Thank you, and hooking everybody up. So if you've got the if your name flips to green, you can start. You're cool now. I guess that's what it is. And you have a couple of emotes. Dr. Oscar, my man, Oscar Hernandez says, welcome everyone to the BCB community. Yeah, we got 2,400 people in here as there's been some news happening in here. So again, these are price areas we've looked for some time. There's been Twitter threads written about it. If you're just now deciding to tune into Markets in the Morning for the first time ever, this is pretty much what Markets in the Morning looks like every morning, as we've had this chart up the whole time. Every single Markets in the Morning starts with this chart on the screen. And then today is the day that we actually get down to the box and we actually get a crud ton of negative news to come in and scare people. And look how many viewers are watching. It's working. It's amazing. So I'm a buyer here. Rock and roll. I had already done some buying, and I'm liking seeing some of these things starting to flip a little bit green here. But Oscar also says, welcome everyone to the BCB community and hit the like button. That's right. If the number one way to support the channel is not super chats, it is not retweets, it is not whatever. While those things are, of course, always appreciated, the number one thing anybody can ever do is just hit that like button. And comments, of course, are always appreciated too, but the like button is the number one. Dr. Ty, time to party all summer long and come back rich by end of the year. Yeah, so enjoy your summer. That's what this does represent, is that typically what we are doing right here is the excessive flush. This is the part where the market is kind of just getting itself shooken out as much as it can. The weak hands are getting, I hate that term, the weak hands, but it's kind of what is happening here. They're going to get flushed here. Then they're going to sit here and be scared, indifferent on what they're going to have happening. Just know there's probably more negative news coming. It would be logical that over the course of the next month and a half, we have some more negative news just to keep that pessimism in the market, keep those people letting go of their assets. at these lower prices as we have now reached a target. Remember, we've talked about volume profiles, right? Where is the volume profile gap? It's right here. Welcome. We're in it. We're trading. It's going to try to probably keep that price suppressed in there for some time to close out the volume profile. So we'll talk about that in today's video that I'll be releasing. But that it's like, you know, it's a cruel summer. Hold on. It's going to be a cruel summer, and we just have to, as a team, ride it out, but be optimistic now that we have actually gone ahead and hit our low or gotten darn near close to the box. I'm not sure if we've actually hit it yet. We got within $55 of the box, but that is just typical that what we're going to do is go ahead and kind of ride this thing out here for just a minute. So, yeah, there you go, guys. I got you with the Taylor Swift. All right. Tay Brown says, are you buying XRP here or just things like ADA, H bar? I appreciate all you do, BCB. Yeah, I'm not buying ADA just because I already have enough of that. My portfolio is already kind of maybe a little too heavy. That I'm not liking seeing them show up multiple times in these lawsuits and getting this little securities designation. Not a huge fan of that, and just kind of need to watch that out. But I also wasn't intending on accumulating more ADA because I think I already have enough of it. ADA was one of my best performers in 2020 and 2021. My dollar cost average on Cardano was 3 cents, and it was my second largest bag. And as you guys, that went to over $3. So that was my best one in the last bull run was Cardano. And I don't anticipate that Cardano will put up those types of percentages again. So I'm kind of cool with it. I'm just kind of hunting around. What were the other things you asked? You asked if I'm buying XRP or just things like ETH and H bar. So I did grab some H bar. I did grab some Ethereum. As for XRP, I did buy a little, but here's the reason why. I don't like the price. I don't like paying this 50-cent area at all, especially when I'm way too concerned down here. But I had a plan on how I was going to treat this area. I had a plan on what I was going to do. Oh, look at this, Bitcoin. Let's go. Crypto market green. Let's go. F the SEC. That's what's up. Telling you, man, I got to get my video released. I got to get it out because it's perfect. At least here's what I'm going to do. I'm at least going to hush for just a second so I can at least get the upload beginning over here. Otherwise, I'm just 6.6. There we go. Okay, the upload is at least happening, so the processing can start happening over there on YouTube. There you go. Nice pop there for Bitcoin. I'm telling you, man, the corrupt organization is trying to shake you out. Your question. Oh, yeah, XRP. With how concerned I am that it's going to be pulling back down here, it felt nasty. But I already had a list already set out. I had already had the dollars written out on it, what I was going to spend, and that there was going to be a particular moment in time that it was going to trigger it, that I was just going to go wham and go buy them all at one time. And so yesterday, I had mentioned that up until this point, I've been like nibbling at the market, right? And that I had put about like 20%, 15, 20% of the funds I intended to put into the market throughout the last couple of weeks, just nibbling and nibbling. Yesterday, I actually wanted to put in a full 50%. So it was about to go ham yesterday. But it didn't end up being that. It ended up being 25%. So, take the 20% I'd already done. Now take another 25%, now at 45%. And so yesterday at one point, it was like I had this little rule. I was like, if we get here, that's where I go do it. And we did. And then whoom, over the course of 2 minutes, went on this huge buying spree with 25% of the funds that I had set aside. XRP was in the list. And so it did get bought. But I could tell you, out of all of them that I got, that's probably the one I feel the most uncomfortable about that got included in there. But it was just a strategy that I had yesterday, and that it was included in my list, and it got bought. I think it's the most I've ever paid for an XRP in my whole life. I don't think I've ever paid that before. I think I had paid 45 cents before. Never in that 50-cent range, and it felt dirty. It didn't feel right. But I would not consider it a strong accumulation on XRP. But yeah, there were some that were added to the bag yesterday at that price. I feel dirty. I feel dirty about it. Feels a little expensive with what we're doing. There you go. Thank you, Tay. Second timer from Deja Vu 702. What's up? Smash the like button. Look at all these people saying like in the chat. Batmany6 says, hey, BCB, there seems to be a strong demand for XRP because the price drop isn't as aggressive compared to the rest of the market. Is XRP 42 cents still possible? That'd be work. Oh, that was an aggressive fall. You know what I mean? That was aggressive. Right? I mean, just that move yesterday, in the thick of that was a 10% move. I wouldn't consider that stronger. Like I showed earlier, there has to be massive alertness, awareness of just where we are. We're back at a retracement level and just took a big fat whack down from it. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen that before, right? So just being aware of what you have here. That this has happened before after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back to retracements, and there was a big whack, and then what happened afterwards, right? There has to be that awareness right there. If we go take out the top of the retracement levels, you'll see me hooting and hollering, and I will sit there and say 42 cents is probably not possible. As long as you are underneath the retracement levels, you have to consider just the varying Elliott wave structures here of ABCDEs or WXYs, zigzags, flats. You have all of it in here, as long as you are underneath this level. So, yeah. And I talked about it yesterday, so I pretty much made the video of it. Zigzag, right? So we'll see. Oscar, my man, says, any thoughts on ADA? No, not in particular. ADA has not exhibited any type of unique strength of its own. And then now, this SEC stuff kind of, we'll see. No, I don't have any strong thoughts on ADA. Pat, I know no one can predict time. Well, we're going to get a time question here. Or price. Well, I can predict price. But where do you think, based on what's happening in today's market, where XRP will be in July or August? Your opinion, not financial advice. Dude, it's a waste of time to ask that, my man. Yeah, to ask that type of thing, it's too hard. You look at what happened here. What if you're only in this, right? What if we are just going to do that? You could range here. This could be your whole summer. That the moment you just saw that SEC fallback from the 786 was that. And now you have months of ranging. Are you going to get down quick and fire out? Or are you going to go back to the retracements really quick and break out? It's unfortunately that I wouldn't even feel comfortable I wouldn't feel comfortable saying I have absolutely no clue and there's no way I could ever know, but here's my guess that will be here. I wouldn't, in July or August, I wouldn't be able to guess, unfortunately. I wouldn't even feel comfortable saying I have no freaking clue. Here's a stupid guess. I don't even feel comfortable doing that. Again, like I've always said, if there was a way to accurately predict time or to have some type of measurable quantitative way to say here, there's like a 50, 60, 70% chance it happens like this. If that existed, if there was anybody who could do it, which Riddlers cannot do it. That's why they don't do it. They leave vague weirdness. If there was a way to do it, I would stop YouTube videos, put on my monk outfit, take off my shoes, and go live outside underneath a tree for a month, being an apprentice for a month to figure out how to predict time, because that is the thing that people care about more than anything. The prices, who cares? Yeah, I know, you get it. You fantasize about it. What you guys really care about is when. And that's not predictable. And nobody consistently does it. You may find somebody who guessed it within a moment, which I occasionally do, but never. There's no one out there consistent. And if there was, I would go pay them a lot of money to be their apprentice, and they'll wear flip-flops the whole time and won't shower for a month. But it doesn't exist. So anybody looking for that to exist, anybody who ever gives you a time prediction, it is based on literal BS. Just so you know. Brandon Hammond says, is your accountant attractive? My accountant is in my family. So, we don't answer those questions. Okay. Baby Oscar Hernandez. SEC coming to babies next. Hit the milky like. Yeah. There you go. Hit the like button. We're almost at 1,000 pretty early. That's pretty good. Thank you, Baby Oscar Hernandez. Wigmanpool 182 says, I just want to say you're the only person I and we turn to in moments like this. Thank you for being our guiding light for many years. Thank you, Wigmanpool. Yeah, you've been here for forever. Pie, we like the likes, so hit it. Fire. Yes, that's right. Everyone in the chat, cheers for the likes too. OG Max says, any thoughts on Coinbase stock or the coins mentioned? Well, we've talked about it. I don't think it's going to be much. I think what we're seeing is a timed attack by the SEC, really just on crypto, and that this is an accumulation zone we've been waiting for a long time. We got to it, and we got timed negative news that shook people out of their positions at the lows. A double whammy attack is what I think happened here. So you can see now we're actually getting real balances to show up in this market, which is great. Which OP was one of my coins that I did get, which is optimism. So, but now it's already got a big fat 10%er on it. So careful out there. I think Coinbase will eventually be fine. And I haven't read the complaint yet. I think this is just probably a timed attack, and Gary Gensler's Goldman buddies are all buying into the market. Seriously, that's how corrupt I think it is. I think it's totally BS. I want to use so much profanity and feel good about myself because, like, I could say the F word so good right now and like feel so passionate about it. Just like it would come out so well that you would be like, "Yes, dude, you crushed that," and I'd be like, "I know, like I'm feeling it." I could say all kinds of negative words right now, but I don't do that on this channel. But I think what we absolutely saw was a timed attack from the SEC of unprecedented corruption that just shook people out of their position. And you would have to, if you hadn't been watching the channel, that every single day on Markets in the Morning, the very first chart I have on the screen when we go live, and I go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's been this chart every day. It's the first thing on the screen every day. We go through it. We wait on it. Last week, we finally said, hey, you know what? It looks like we're finally at our last point. We've now done this our little accumulation. We've gone through capitulation happening in here. If we were going to continue capitulating, we should be done. Now we're working on our final moments in here. Right? Now we've got our little short squeeze that's happening in here before it rolls itself over, and we give one last shot at crushing that bottom. Check the tape. And then that marks our bottom. And so what do we have happen here for us to get that last flush? Just like the FTX collapse happened, we get SEC to come in and time the attack this time. So you just can't script it any better than this. So, and I think they showed their cards. And the problem is they've done this before. I have a video called How the SEC Hurt XRP Investors at Just the Right Time. And we've proven before that they time what they do, and they time it based on charts. And I think we just they just screwed up. They just showed their cards. 1,000 likes. Let's go. You guys did do it. You guys were just crushing it there in the chat. So I don't know. I think it's just a political play here. OG Mac. But as for the coins mentioned, hard to know, man. Yeah, you know, XRP community members have been through this for 2.5 years. To have a lot of equity put into having to deal with being at the very start, be a rough ride. Unless something crazy comes out here next week when this lawsuit ends with Ripple. If you are not cheering for Ripple on this, anybody out there, you're not cheering for XRP, wake up. Chris Greenhall says, there you go. It's pronounced Greenhall J. Okay, Chris Greenhall J. Greenhall J. J. After dropping 3K on XRP and watching the charts most of the day yesterday and giving myself a headache from my blood pressure, I just want to say thank you for all that you do, brother. Rock on, man. Thank you. Hey, get some exercise. Hey, guys, guess what? I have not taken a blood pressure pill in 16 days. Let's go. Thank you, Chris. That's very generous. I appreciate it, man. Deep Sleep ASMR. You can predict time in this case, June 13th. Hinman documents, then SJ from Taurus. That's not really predicting time. You know they have a deadline, right? You know that they have a specific deadline they have to be. That's like me predicting that my electricity bill is due on a certain day. I could predict that my bill will be due. Yeah. You know? And you don't know that judgment will come right after that. You say from there, but you don't predict the time on how long after, right? Because you can't predict it. You know that you have a deadline for June 13th for the filing from the SEC, either to, appeal or do whatever they're going to do. And then after that, you don't really have a time. But you know you have that 13th date because that's the rules of the court. So it's not really predicting. It's like me predicting I'll have an electricity bill due next month. Ollie Stokes, but I appreciate it, Deep Sleep, man. What do you think of miners? Ollie Stokes. I don't know if those are crypto Bitcoin miners or if those are metal miners, but I don't ever buy any miners ever. Give me the underlying asset, not the one digging for it. KuCoin. Oh boy, don't spread fear. Let me see if you're wrong. Okay, yeah. Someone's in the chat. Quarter crawler. You're just spreading fear. These are like kids, man. You do that kind of stuff. That's like how you get kicked out of here. We don't need that kind of garbage. You're saying KuCoin's down. I just went to it. It's fine. Mr. Q said, did you buy SUI? I did buy some SUI. SUI. I haven't checked on that today. Is that one okay? I got it at like 80. I don't know what it is right now because it's not in that list. $79. Ugh. Okay, but holding. All right. 42 Pros says, how often does a back test of the previous all-time high occur when NATH breakouts happen? I don't know what NATH happen. Is that... Did you actually mean all-time high and you accidentally included a... Otherwise, NATH, are we talking about Nathan's famous hot dogs? I'm assuming you didn't mean to include the N. how often does a backtest at the previous all-time occur when breakouts happen? Pretty often. Pretty often. A new all-time high. I got you. To give you a statistical number and say it happens 88% of the time or it happens 93% of the time, I don't have that statistic number for you. But it usually does. OG Max says, I had a debate about Link versus QNT. Thoughts on QNT? One, I'm not highly educated on either of them. So I wouldn't be the person to sit around and have technological debates about something like that. That's just not my specialty. I know a lot of people like QNT, which I've been calling Quaint for forever. At XRP Las Vegas, somebody told me it's Quant. I don't know. I liked Quaint better than Quant. Like quack. There's some guy who's like, no, it's not. It's not Quant. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Too many coins for me to like those two in particular to compare and say who's better. I don't know. Good luck. I hope you won on your debate. Digital Dunce says, Mom used to make me take a bite of soap when a swear word came out to clean my dirty mouth. Today would be a soap smorgasbord. Jesus forgive me. Yeah. So when I get off the stream, I might just drop a couple of F-bombs just for fun. Pi, thank you, Digital Dunce. Pi says, we can hit 1.5 thousand likes, so hit the like, moon, rocket ship. Yeah, I think we definitely could. But okay, so that's where we're at. That was an amazing bounce that happened in here. So for those who are like been freaking out about the news, look what just happened. We got down to a technical location. The SEC times their attack, their total corruption of going after Coinbase at the support level to scare retail out. Retail now is probably, a lot of retail is probably wrong-footed right here. There's been a lot of coins that have probably changed hands and they sold out right here. But, you know, don't be too, I'm not going to be like rushing to think that we're going to be getting out real fast. I think we're probably going to be here for most of the summer. At least that's historically what tends to happen in these moments. We've been tracking this along for the last 2 months. This is how Markets in the Morning starts every single day. Good news, we get there. And I think it's just, I couldn't kind of be more happier to see it go the way that it's going, where you have the corrupted SEC come out here and try to play the market to feed coins into their banker buddies' hands at this location in time. You could not script it. You watched it. You watched the puppet masters pull the puppet strings. You watched the simulation at play. The reason I want to use profanity is because I'm pissed. These dudes did this. You watched the corruption happen live. You watched months of this play out. We looked for a short squeeze. We looked for a retrace. And then we looked to get to this level. And at this level right here, they sue Coinbase. It's a scamming government play. But fortunately, we're beating them. F them. Hard F. Hard F with strong emphasis on U, followed by the C, and then that other letter that also sounds like C. Okay. Thank you, Pi. Let's hit that 1.5 thousand likes. Houses, high, tree sorts. Dude, thank you. Wow, thank you very much. And it's just a super sticker. Thank you very much. So, okay. Decent sized bounce there. We might have we got Casper shifting up there. QNT, quaint. 4%. Arbitrum at 3, Optimism at 10. So yeah, but we got to keep it cool in the chat, guys, or else you're gonna get timed out. We got to play by the rules over here on YouTube with the F bombs. But all right, XRP holding up okay after that fall. But, as we know, we got hard rejection there. So now it's time to watch and see how price action is going to play, ranging or shifting back to the top of the range. We go back to the top of the range, it'd be pretty exciting. But, we know that we can do that. So we'll give it some room to breathe and see what happens for XRP. Did it do the same thing here? No, it went lower here this time. It didn't hold that like it did just now. So that's pretty cool. But okay. Fluff them. All right. Market flipped green after Coinbase gets sued. Yeah. Why would that happen? Because it's bull. Look at me. I'm just stopping myself. All right. I'm going to wrap it up so I can release my video. I love you guys, man. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a huge audience today, much bigger than usual. It's typical when we get big events like this actually end up occurring. Things that are going on this week. We'll still have markets in the morning this week. We'll still have videos this week. Of course, next week, there's nothing huge on the economic calendar this week to pay attention to in regards to economic data that's going to be released. However, next week is when we're going to be having the Federal Reserve FOMC meeting where they're going to do a rate hike, right? Let me check one thing real quick because I do believe we actually have CPI data next week. Will we get that on Monday? We get that on Tuesday. CPI. Okay, so CPI is going to be coming out next Tuesday, June 13th. Okay, we're at 4.9%. That will be released next Tuesday. And it's anticipated, we're going to be knocking out a huge number there next Tuesday, and that'll be the day before the FOMC meeting. And that we'll watch that FOMC meeting because this could be the one that they, at least the market has anticipated pause here. Let's see if they still think so. Yeah, it's even more now. 80% expectations that a pause is coming. So next week we'll get CPI. We're likely to see that 4.9 potentially drop down into the 3s next week. Then the following day, we'll have the FOMC meeting. And is this going to be the day where we finally get the pause to happen in the market? Potentially so. So we'll pay. That's really what's going on next week. But today's obviously only Tuesday, June 6th, Tuesday of this week. There's just nothing economic coming out this week for us to really pay attention to. Obviously, the things we get to pay attention to are these nice distractions that the SEC is dishing us up at just the right time. But we're not falling for it. We're throwing up the big fat middle finger at them. So, all right, I'm wrapping it up. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let's go through the outro. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.